I am 38 years old this year. I have a wife and two young children. We live together with my parents, so there are 6 people in our home. In Vietnam, we call this a 3-generation family. So why did I choose to quit a job that paid 14 million Vietnamese dong a month? About 540 US dollars? It is not a high salary in Vietnam, but in the countryside, it can still be enough for a modest life. In this video, I want to share a little more about my personal life with you. But first, let's welcome the sunrise together and make a cup of coffee in a real Vietnamese style. It is 5:15 in the morning. I have just woken up, and as usual, I open the gate of my house and begin a new day. Everything is still very quiet. Most of the other families around here are probably awake too, but everyone is still busy with their own morning routines inside their homes. So outside, there is almost no activity yet. I can hear the birds singing and the roosters crowing. For me, this is such a beautiful way to start the day. It feels simple, but also very peaceful. Every morning, when I stand here and look at this quiet scene in my hometown, I feel really relaxed. There's no rush, no noise, and no pressure. Just the fresh morning air, the sounds of nature, and the feeling that another new day is slowly beginning. I stretch a little bit to wake myself up. Everyone in my house is already awake too. This is my wife. She's hanging the clothes outside and getting ready to go to work. It's still early, but in my family, the day usually starts like this. This small garden area in front of my house is where I usually come to relax. It feels really comfortable and peaceful. That is the morning crow of the rooster from the house right in front of mine. They raise both chickens and ducks there. The sky looks very beautiful today, but it also tells me that a hot day is coming. Where I live, we are entering the summer season. People try to finish their outdoor work and other necessary things as early as possible, so they can rest before the hottest hours around noon. My mother is awake now. She is holding my 8-month-old son while he's still sleeping. He will probably wake up in about an hour. My wife is using this time to prepare his food before she has to leave for work. As for me, I will start making a pot of tea and a big cup of coffee to drink throughout the morning. I really like combining these two drinks, and I have been doing this for quite a long time. Taking care of my little son is quite tiring, and it goes on almost all day. I can feel how tired my mother is, but I can also clearly see the happiness she gets from doing this. A little bit of sweetened condensed milk. I really like drinking coffee made this way. It has a strong, rich flavor. I do go to coffee shops sometimes, but the coffee there is usually lighter than my taste. 2 teaspoons of coffee. I press it down gently. Then I pour in a little water to wet the coffee from both the top and the bottom. This helps the coffee grounds bloom evenly, and it makes the flavor stronger and richer when I drink it. I let it soak for about 1 minute. After that, I fill it up with water to brew the coffee. I think this way of making coffee is something you will not see very often on the internet. I tried looking for it too, but I haven't really found it. I learned these small tips from a few people who have been making and drinking coffee for many years. You can try it and see how it feels. And that's it. Now I just wait for the coffee to finish dripping, and then I can enjoy it. You can drink it hot or add some ice and enjoy it cold, depending on your taste. It is 5:42 now, and my wife is leaving for work. Today she works the morning shift, so she has to leave quite early, but she will also come home earlier, around 2 p.m. She only had enough time to prepare food for our little son, and she will have breakfast when she gets to the company. It has only been about 30 minutes since I woke up, but the sky is already much brighter. The sunlight has started to come out. My daughter is awake now, and she is taking over from my mother to look after the baby while he is still sleeping. I want the coffee to cool down faster, so I put it in the freezer for a little while. We are out of ice, so I have to make it from the beginning. The water my family uses at home is clean water supplied by the local system through pipes. I also bought a water filter to filter it one more time before using it. I have tested the water quality after filtering, and the numbers all look safe. Because of that, I can drink the water directly from this tap. I feel really lucky to have such wonderful family members around me. My mother has prepared breakfast for me very thoughtfully. Today, she made bánh can, a Vietnamese noodle soup. Breakfast is finished now. Before I take you to a place that is very special to me, I want to show you around the back of my house a little bit. After that, I will take you to that place. It is right here in my village. I often go there to enjoy the view when I need some quiet time. For me, it is the best place to be when I do not want to be disturbed and just want to think about everything. This is a sour starfruit tree. It gives us shade, and its fruit can also be used to make sour soup with different kinds of fish. Usually it tastes best when cooked with snakehead fish. Over there is a new house that is still under construction. In a few more months, it should be ready to move into. In my hometown, people often start building houses at the beginning of the year. By around August or September, the house is usually almost finished, so the family can move in before the storm season and the floods arrive. My hometown is a low-lying area, so floodwater comes in almost every year. During a big flood, if you stand on the road, the water can rise up to your chest, your neck, or even over your head in the worst years. Being able to build a strong, solid house is truly a great joy, because it gives a family peace of mind to live their life. That is their happiness. But for me, seeing it also brings up a deep sadness. Not because I feel jealous of them, but because when I see something like that, it makes me think about my own situation. But for now, I want to take you to this place. This is a small neighborhood grocery store. It is still being finished and waiting to be used more regularly. It is great because soon I will be able to walk here in just a few minutes and buy the things I need. Okay, we are here now. This place is about 300 meters from my house, so I can walk here instead of taking my motorbike. I like this place because it has a beautiful row of bamboo. In the past, there used to be a lot of bamboo in my hometown, but over time, as people built more houses and concrete roads, the bamboo slowly disappeared. This plant is also often used as a symbol of Vietnam. You can hear the bamboo leaves and the bamboo stems touching each other when the wind blows. This feeling is really wonderful. It reminds me of my childhood. I am 38 years old this year. I graduated from university with a degree in electronics and telecommunications. When I finished school, I wanted to come back to my hometown, work here, and live close to my family. But in the countryside, job opportunities are not the same as in the big cities. There are fewer choices, and it is not easy to find a job that matches what you studied. Over the years, I have done many different jobs. Most of them had nothing to do with my major. I worked as an internet fiber optic repair technician. I worked in sales, selling consumer goods, and even cars. I worked at a small express delivery office. There were also times when I worked on construction sites, helping with basic labor, cleaning, and doing whatever needed to be done. To be honest, I do not feel ashamed of any of those jobs. Work is work. As long as it is honest, I respect it. The real problem was not the type of job. The real problem was that the income was too low, and it was not enough for the kind of life I wanted to build for my family. I wanted to be able to raise my children properly and give them a good education. I wanted to take care of my aging parents. I wanted to support my wife and make her life a little easier. And more than anything, I wanted to be able to build a strong, safe house for my family to live in. But if I kept working the same way for another 10 or 20 years, I honestly did not see how that could happen. Last year, I made a difficult decision. I quit my job and came back home to focus on working online. At that time, I was working as a sales manager for consumer goods, and my salary was around 14 million Vietnamese dong a month. It was enough to survive, but not really enough to move forward. And because I had to live away from home, rent a room, pay for food, transportation, and other living expenses, there was not much left to support my family. So I started thinking differently. I believed that looking for opportunities on the internet might give me more hope than continuing on the same path. I spent time learning about affiliate marketing, print on demand, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and many other online opportunities. After thinking about it for a long time, I decided to quit my job and give myself 1 full year to focus on this seriously. Until now, I still have not achieved any major result. But even so, this path has given me a lot of hope. It makes me feel like there is still a chance to change my life, even if the progress is slow and uncertain. I am very lucky because my wife and my parents support me, and their support does not always come in big words or dramatic encouragement. Sometimes their support is simply giving me a quiet space to work, not putting more pressure on me, and allowing me to keep trying. They're not able to support me strongly with money, and I understand that, but sometimes their help can be just a few dollars so I can buy a pack of coffee, or put a little gas in my motorbike when I have not made any income yet. Sometimes it is simply a meal at home. For me, that is already something very precious. If I were still living away from home, renting a room and taking care of everything by myself, even those simple things would be much harder. I only had a very small amount of savings for this work. I used part of it to buy a course that promised to teach people how to make money from YouTube. Looking back, I feel like I was really misled. It was a painful lesson because that money mattered a lot to me, but luckily I did not stop there. I kept learning by myself, and little by little, I managed to make enough money to buy a laptop for about $1,000. After that, I kept saving money and bought a DJI Action 4 camera, which cost a little over $220. Along with that camera, I also use an old iPhone XR that I bought 3 years ago for about $200. These are the three main tools I have now: a laptop, a small action camera, and an old phone. With these things, I try to do everything I can to make a living on the internet. There are days when I feel very tired. Not just physically tired, but emotionally tired. Sometimes, when my family needs something and I cannot help, I feel powerless. That feeling is very hard to explain. I look at my friends, and many of them already have stable lives. Some of my close friends are doing very well now. I am happy for them, but at the same time, I cannot avoid thinking about where I am in my own life. Around my village, many families are building new houses. Every time I see a strong new house being built, I know it must be a great joy for that family. They can feel safer. They can feel more settled. I truly understand that happiness. But when I look back at my own family, we are still living in a house that has become seriously old and damaged. This house was built a few years before I was born. Every time the storm season comes, I worry that it may not be strong enough to stand through it. That is why this dream matters so much to me. I am not looking for a rich or luxurious life. I just hope that one day soon, I can create a small result, something real, enough to make a life less stressful than it is now, enough to help my family feel safer, enough to give me a little peace inside. I am lucky to have you here with me. These are things I've never really said outside of my family before. This is the first time I am sharing them with people who watch my videos. Thank you for listening. If you have a family member in a similar situation, or if you yourself are going through something like this, I would be very happy to read your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes, just knowing that someone understands can already mean a lot. We have just walked around the residential area of my village. Now I will head back home, check on my coffee, and start my workday. You can see many new houses being built, and this is just in this small village. I still feel like I'm quite young, and sometimes I still want to be in lively places with more people and more activity. But honestly, I really love the feeling of being in my hometown. This is where I was born, where I grew up, and where I have spent almost 40 years of my life. I cannot imagine what it would feel like if I had to leave this place again and go somewhere else to look for a new job, even if that place was only about 50 kilometers from my home, and I could still come back to visit my family on weekends. But as you can see, I have 2 young children, and I feel that being around them often and raising them closely is truly important. I am not trying to make myself look pitiful. I also do not have a habit of showing my personal life on social media. In fact, before I started building this YouTube channel, I rarely posted photos or wrote anything on any platform. I am making this video because I feel like I need to tell you a little more about myself, so you can understand me better and follow the next parts of my story more easily. Okay, I am finally back home. I prefer drinking iced coffee instead of hot coffee because the weather right now is very hot. Now I am back at my desk and starting my workday again. It's the weekend, but to be honest, weekends do not really feel that different for me anymore. Normally, I would work in this room. This has been my workspace for the past year, but the weather has been so hot lately that I temporarily moved into the bedroom to work. And now it is time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.